My name is Hannah. Welcome to the Firestarter YouTube channel. This is my great friend Azul.
Hello.
If you have not already, please subscribe down below, click that notification bell, hit that like button, and welcome to my second YouTube video where I will be interviewing Azul. Azul.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Tell us about it, a little bit about yourself.
I'm a student about to graduate tomorrow, May 9th, and
So
it's my
exciting.
birthday. So, I'm graduating college. I was born and raised in Mexico, Latina. I'm studying political science, international affairs, and a minor in marketing.
Nice.
Very passionate about human rights in the world, and
Yeah. So what kind of got you into your major?
So fun fact, originally I used to think that politicians were the worst, and I mean some are for sure, but I just thought that all politicians were corrupt and just in it for money, power, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized a big part of that is because there weren't enough, and there are not enough people that represent me.
Mm-hmm.
So people that look like me in those positions of power.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I want to be there. Like, I want to tackle it from the root, as I say. So
I love that for you.
yeah.
So what would your dream be? If you could have any sort of dream job, what would it be?
So my ultimate goal. I feel like I have a lot. I don't really have one
No, that's
specific.
completely fair.
But my ultimate goal would be to open a homeless shelter and an immigration shelter in Mexico and in the US.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I also want to be an ambassador
Okay.
and work at the UN. So I feel
Okay.
like those are my three. I feel like I can, well, maybe not all at the same time, but
Yeah.
I feel like I could do work in the UN and have my shelter. Or
Yeah.
something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
That would be great. What would you want to do at the UN as an ambassador?
Well, obviously there's a lot of human rights issues that I would
Yeah.
like to tackle. I feel like I'm kind of exploring a little bit of everything right
Okay.
now. Obviously, I'm very passionate about immigration rights, children rights, and women rights. So yeah, I'm kind of a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you think your degree kind of contributed to your passion or growing up in Mexico? What kind of had this perspective for you that you wanted to make this kind of difference?
Yeah, I feel I always talk about this with Devin. My husband,
Devin, the goat!
So I always talk about this with him. I feel like I came in as an outsider to the bubble.
Yeah.
And kind of the US kind of being a bubble. It could be a good and a bad thing, but I just it was very different to come here and experience normality, which to me was whoa, privilege, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's just a mindset that I've had since I was very little.
Right.
And, seeing my mom and my family members and stuff like that, and it just didn't sit right with me that some people had so little and some others didn't.
Yeah.
Had a lot. So yeah, honestly it was that. I'm just very empathetic, very so I feel like everyone should be able to have a good life.
Yeah. I remember I have a friend who came from Saudi Arabia and she was just impressed how even the poor in America are rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have some pretty, bad, poverty lines, but for sure, I don't know, there's a lot of resources, and I feel like some resources, there could be more, but I feel like there's not enough like advertising and stuff. Like I was talking about this about like healthcare.
Yeah.
Like there's programs where they can give you discounts and stuff like that, but they don't advertise it. They don't talk to you about that.
Yeah, it's hard to find out.
And especially coming from like a lower income background, you don't know where to look. So
Exactly.
it's even harder for you to get those benefits.
Yeah, it's hard to find the resources that are available, and a lot of people just don't know where to look, even people who aren't in poverty, but
Yeah.
So can you tell us, I'm going to switch tables here, can you tell us a little bit about Devin?
Of course. So my lovely husband, we just got married in January. Yeah, I don't know. Our stories, I think it's pretty cute.
It is very cute. We all love Devin. He's great.
Yeah, Devin is the standard for sure.
He is for sure the standard. We gotta raise the bar, ladies.
Yeah. So we met at the lake through a common friend, and we literally were inseparable. So he came in late, so he was looking for us, and I'm just looking for a random man.
Yeah.
I don't know what he looks like. I start walking a little bit, and I see this man walking towards me, and I walk towards him, and our first couple of words that we exchanged, I asked him, "Is that you?" And he said, "Yes, that's me." And it's so stupid, but I think it's so cute because I'm delusional, and I'm just like, "Oh, you're my soulmate," And like, I feel like I always heard people say like, "When you know, you know." Like you'll know and you feel it, and I felt it, and I felt like, I don't know, since I was little, not that I necessarily manifested him, but I always had an idea of him, and his presence just felt very familiar, and it's something that I talk about a lot with him, because I tell him I feel like when I was little, I was in a way with him, like experiencing my childhood with him, and just like in thought and like, I don't know, like a feeling of presence. And so we are actually gonna be 3 years on May 30th.
Wow, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Azul and I, we know each other from Taekwondo, and Devin, he's the greatest husband.
Yes.
They're very cute together. We love, sometimes he'll come to Taekwondo practice. One time they sparred each other, which was hilarious.
Yeah, we did. We kind of sometimes just spar, I don't know, like at home. I don't know, I feel like it's really fun to have a partner that you can be friends with. And like, because I feel like sometimes I have seen couples take themselves too serious in their love relationship, which is fine, But at least like our dynamic is more like, sometimes we're friends and sometimes we're lovers, so it's like, it's pretty cool.
I feel like that's my dream, is to just marry my best friend.
That's everyone's dream.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny because since I was little, I really wanted to meet like a friend group and have like friends that I could always go to, and I never thought that I would, find that in my husband. So
that's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Wow, I can't believe you guys are gonna be 3 years.
Yeah,
That's
literally.
crazy. That's crazy.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day because I feel like it feels longer somehow. Like it feels like we've had like 3 lives already, and now we're, So Devin and I are moving abroad, and that's gonna be literally a whole new life.
Yeah,
so
that's so exciting. Are you nervous?
Yeah, a little bit for sure. I feel like I'm just nervous about political climate. Honestly, Like I'm like, what if we move somewhere and like a war starts there, and we're just like, we just packed everything. And, but at the same time, it's been getting really scary in the U.S. as well. So at least like I would personally feel a little more comfortable somewhere else. But I don't know, nowhere is safe. Somehow the Earth like became super small, and we were just like, where do we want to go? Like So
what's one thing that you wish people would think more about?
A lot, Jesus. Probably, I don't know, empathy in education.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't think you necessarily have to know it all and be a scholar to be empathetic. It does help to know the situations around the world and to know about people, but I would say education does play a big role in how people think, obviously,
Right.
and like what they will think about. So I don't know, but again, education is such a huge subject.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like, yeah, I don't know. Just about humanity. I feel like people need to start like when they think about people, just start thinking about people as if they were you. Like, oh, if I was going through a situation, what would I want other people to do for me? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I always try to just be very mindful of other people and just be kind, because I think a lot of times too, I'll see people where they're mad or upset, or they're just kind of like not a nice person, and I kind of have to remind myself, you know, if they're not a nice person, they're probably going through a hard time, or they're not nice to themselves. And
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a battle, because you can recognize when a person is projecting, but also you don't want to excuse it when they cross boundaries. So it's difficult, but yeah, I praise you for that.
Yeah, you still want to have your boundaries and stick up for yourself and everything. For people who are like, for young people who are just kind of like getting into politics and stuff like that, how do you recommend that they educate themselves?
That's a good question. I'm actually trying to challenge myself to read all of the banned books.
Okay.
I feel like that would be a pretty good start, but at the same time, I feel like history books are really twisted to whatever, like Western view, or you know, whatever side. Yeah. So I feel like that's tricky, but I don't know. Just honestly, like it's gonna sound so like old. We're literally at a library. Like, submerge yourself like in a library, and like sometimes I would just walk around like the halls or whatever and like look at books, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting, just pick it up, and like I have found some pretty cool books here actually.
Really? Like, what are your books that you read or like to read? Yeah,
so there was, I don't remember, I think it's called Girl on the Chair or something. I don't know. I don't remember the title.
Okay.
But it was a book kind of about like mental health and navigating mental health. A girl that started going to a therapist, and just kind of her improvement throughout. But it's funny, and it's also like real.
Okay.
Because there have been other books that I feel like a lot of people really do like, and I'm like, oh, I can't relate. You know, again, that perspective of like, I guess a little bit of privilege, because sometimes like the like story that is like this girl who like, I don't know, her parents were rich, and I'm like, bro, I can't relate to this. Like, sorry, let me put this down, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I really like a lot of self-help books. I also really like I don't know, like economics and like sales and stuff like that, which is kind of very like business bro.
That's like very out of pocket for you, but
yeah, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, the basic, you know, like never sell the difference.
We read that in my sales class.
I don't know. I also have been trying to just have fun with books a little bit, because I feel like I'm very like, not necessarily academic, but like I don't really read a lot of like fiction or stuff like that. So I feel like I would want to do that at some point. I just I'm currently reading if the name appears. Shoot, I forgot the name.
That's okay.
Whatever.
You can text me the names, and then I'll link it down below.
I'll let you guys know. This is that finals like mind going on right now, but
all good.
It's technically about kind of like English society, and
Yeah.
it's like storyline of this girl that was really poor and an orphan, and then turned to become like a huge person in society with like I haven't figured out what happens to her yet, but I think like I want to get myself a little more into that. I also love like a good like Bridgerton like story. Like I'm a sucker for that. But sorry, I feel like I kind of went a little all over the place.
No, we're going all over the place.
You asked about young people and politics.
Yes, and educating themselves. And then you said go into the library.
I would say, honestly, I feel like a lot of kids also don't realize you can literally reach out to your congresspeople. So easy. Just like Google whatever like district you're in, and you can literally just like reach out to your congressperson. Obviously, you won't talk to your congressperson like on the phone, but like it will be a secretary or whoever, and
just call them. Hey, what's up?
Hey,
how's it going?
Just I don't know, just write letters or be like, hey, like, are there opportunities for like community service or something? Like, what's going on in my community? I guess it's a good way to start. What's going on around you? But I don't know. Read the news. Don't rely on social media a lot.
Don't get all your news from TikTok,
please. Don't do it.
It's not great. Or Facebook.
Yeah, definitely Facebook.
Definitely Facebook. The angry relatives.
I would say, sure, if you see something like on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook, like, fact check it.
Exactly.
Like, it's okay if you find them, but like, it takes like one swipe, you go on Google, like, look it up, and also don't fall for like the first couple of links because they're usually promoted or advertised, and like Google wants you to look at that. Go deeper. Go look for like the academic resources or like the big journals or I don't know. I feel like
what are some academic resources that you know or journals?
I mean, like Washington Post. I feel like CNN is a little sometimes, but we can also link it.
We'll link it below.
Yes. I feel like also, which is it could be a good and a bad thing, but I do follow a lot of human rights activists on Instagram, and I feel like that's another way that I have been getting like my like information. But again, fact check it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like social media can become a really important tool if you use it like correctly.
I feel like the problem is just in life we take a lot of things at face value because it's easier for our brains, right? Like you just take something at face value, you assume it is fact, but I think a lot of times things are so much more complex than that. People are so much more complex than that, and so it's important to not just take an article and believe the title. It's important to research it and look into it.
Exactly. Literally, like titles too, because sometimes I feel like titles can be deceiving, and it's you just read the title and you don't read what's in it, and it literally argues against what you like the title is or like something. So always make sure you read it. It's like read the little letters in the contracts, like just
What do you study in your major? Like, what kind of made you passionate about what you're studying or what you're gonna do and that sort of thing?
So I started with the Intro to Politics course, kind of talked about over the Constitution, like First Amendment, Second Amendment, all of that basic stuff, and it did interest me, but I would say my international relations course, international politics course, was like one of the biggest like twist plots for me. I was taking that course when the Ukraine war started, and we were just following along the whole time, and like literally every single new like event we would talk about it in class, and I was just like, this is so relevant, like, you know. So, yeah. But I also really do like that we have covered wars or topics or issues that are not really known.
Yeah.
And kind of just go and dive into that, because I feel like that's what we need more of. We need to like shine light to issues that we don't see and we don't know about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in America, we just have a lot of times we have a privileged point of view and we don't see a lot of things right in front of us that are happening. And I think too, when we're separated from things, we lose empathy for it and we kind of forget that they're people, you know?
Yeah, especially like, I don't know, just having that easy access to boop, like skipping over the video like it's nothing, and it's just like you just watch a very graphic thing. Like it can be bad for your mental health for sure, but like at the same time, I feel like sometimes I like see those videos and I'm like, oh, I don't know, you know, but I'm like, oh my god, what did I just witness, you know, in there? And like it does like stuck with me, but I can't understand how other people are just like, you know, like it's nothing. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think we just get desensitized to it, you know, because I mean, some people just have the news playing all the time and then they just get used to those images, but it's like, it's so different just seeing it across the world and then actually living it.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like if people were actually living it, then they would have a softer heart.
Yeah. And people usually, I think they kind of are more passionate about issues that they can relate to or something that they've been through or, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah,
but I mean, I feel like it's a little bit difficult because I don't think we should, as humanity, get to that extent for it to happen to me. Then I'll care about it.
Yeah.
But also, I'm just so shocked by how many people don't realize when history is repeating itself.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, it happened to your grandpas. Like, well, maybe not your grandpa, but like great grandparents or, you know, your ancestors. And I'm just like, you're like on the other side of.
Right.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
Because I think when you're going through school, you're like, oh, why do I have to read these history books and whatnot? But it's important because, I mean, we're all people. It's just different time periods.
Yeah. I feel like it oftentimes, when I'm just looking through like a topic and I think, like it's present time and I see it in the future and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be in history books. Like, who do I want to like represent and who do I want to align with?
And I think a lot of times too, it's overwhelming for young people or just anyone if they want to make a difference because it's like where to start. You know, there's just so much.
Yeah, for sure. I would just say, if you're aware that you have any sort of privilege, using that to benefit others is a great start. Whether that's like access to knowledge, for example, for me right now, I feel like it's mainly that. Like I have so much access to knowledge that I've acquired from my time in college, and like sometimes even my family have been like, oh, like I don't know about this, and I'm like, I did like some paralegal work and stuff, so I kind of know a little bit about some law, and I'm like, oh, you should look into this and this, and they're like, oh, like thank you, you know. So I feel like, I don't know, even though it seems to be something little, it could be huge for somebody else. And
and I think we underestimate too how much little action adds up, because even if you do one little thing a day, that can add up to something big.
Indeed, I agree.
So have you ever gone, I'm just gonna switch gears a little bit here, have you ever gone through like any struggle and how did you get through it, and if you had any advice to your younger self, what would you give her?
Yeah, I think like one of my biggest struggles, I feel like it definitely does have a lot to do with moving to the US. I would say just making a space for myself, if that makes sense. Like I always felt like an outsider,
Yeah.
like I didn't belong, or just different. Be the difference. Yeah, just different, and that's our Marquette.
Yeah, that's the Marquette slogan. Is be
Yeah,
the
be
difference.
the difference. They're probably like, what?
Yeah, you're so confused.
Yeah. So yeah, I just felt like an outsider, and I really struggled to find normality, and I don't know, just I remember myself crying sometimes and be like, I just want to be normal, like
Yeah.
I just want to like be part of the group, but like
Yeah.
I feel like I still struggle with it sometimes, but I would say using that to uplift yourself. It's
Right.
gonna sound a little maybe egotistical, but honestly, who cares? Like, I just like there's a moment where I realized I'm different. That's a good thing, right? Like that should be like the highlight, because I am a different person and I am a unique person, and
Right.
that's great. And I don't know, just in a way finding the light to whatever darkness you are in. And it's actually something that I like set into prayer, and I love that I thought about this. Sometimes I really do love my brain. But I was just praying for a moment, and I like asked God to make me or turn me into like find light and allow me to burn so that others don't have to battle in darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And like just those words, I felt like it really resonates to who I am and who I want to be and how I want to present myself. And yeah, I don't know. It was just beautiful, because I'm first gen. I'm gonna be the first in my family to graduate college.
So great. That's
yeah. So I have definitely broken a lot of cycles and
that's amazing.
curses and stuff like that. So just yeah, like keeping in mind your blessings and looking at the positives. It sounds kind of cliche, but it does help a lot. And like in a way, it's kind of silly, but I feel like you attract more good when you think that way. Like,
I agree.
Yeah, like there have been times where I'm like upset or something, and I'm like, okay, I can't let this ruin my entire day. Let me just switch gears, be positive or whatever, and then boom, something great comes out of it. You know, and it's really hard to do. It takes a lot of work, shadow work to control your emotions like that. It's not.
It's difficult.
But once you achieve it, and again, it's be constant. Once you are able to do it, it's genuinely such a like mind-blowing thing. Like wow, like that reflection of like I used to like crash out over my pencil not being sharpened enough or something, and you're like, whoa, like now I don't care, you know. I was that silly, but like anyway. So
I think as people, we're just trained to see all the negatives and all the problems in our lives, and we kind of overlook everything we have to be grateful for.
I agree. I definitely have done that at some point.
I still do that. I still struggle with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge thing, and I think especially for like our generation, I feel like it's huge, because I don't know, we're kind of like the generation where we stand up for ourselves, but at the same time we don't know how or what to do. We're just like hello. So yeah.
Have you ever been? I think a lot of people in our generation, like, or just even past generations too, like, go with the crowd. Have you ever been someone to go with the crowd, or are you kind of someone who is more individualistic?
I wouldn't say I'm individualistic, but I wouldn't say I go with the crowd. It's really interesting, because I feel like I have made really hard decisions in my life where I separate myself from even people that I love that I realized weren't good for me, and it was because they were like part of the crowd, and like I was just like, bro, how can you stand up for that? But at the same time, I think by being part of the crowd, you get to understand like people more and how they think and stuff like that. So I don't know, it depends, I guess, on the time, the issue, the day. Like, do I want to, be understanding and reflect on people's behaviors and then step back and do my own thinking and my own like planning and stuff like that. Depends a little bit.
Yeah. It can definitely depend on the situation. You were talking about how you kind of felt separate from everyone. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. Just I don't know. I mean, I feel like first gen has a lot to do with that because I had to navigate everything on my own. Like my mom doesn't speak English. My siblings didn't go to college, so it was like me figuring it all out.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight on you.
And especially like coming to Marquette where a lot of kids like have had tutors and like their parents do their stuff and like five spot and all of that.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, where do I start, So I always felt like a little, there's like a word for that. It's like slipping my brain. Not good, but Jesus. I feel like I have it on the tip of my tongue. When like you feel alienated in school.
Yeah.
Like, syndrome, but I forget the
Imposter syndrome?
imposter syndrome.
There we go.
I almost said postpartum. I don't know why. Yep. Yeah, so
It's fine.
postpartum. Yeah. Imposter syndrome for sure. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people actually feel, so maybe
I relate to that because I'm in engineering and I always just feel like everyone is so smart in engineering. I'm like, oh my god, how am I here? Like, I feel like I'm faking it. Yeah.
I mean, low-key, I feel like sometimes college does become a little bit of faking it.
Yeah.
And it's something that's not talked about enough. Like, for sure, like, I don't know, like, I will have an achievement or something, but I'm like burnt down and I'm not doing great, but I'm being celebrated. So I'm just like, yeah, please celebrate me. But I'm like, I'm dying.
That's how I feel a lot of time. Like you're just trying to drag yourself through. Yeah, it can get rough.
Yeah.
But you're graduating.
Yes, I'm graduating, so it'll be kind of over soon. I do plan on going to grad school. So
sweet.
Yeah, I love school. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a nerd. I just really genuinely enjoy learning. Like, how could I not want to just feed my brain? Give me more. So.
Yeah. I feel like even when I'm graduated and done, I'll still, I don't know. Maybe like if I have a lot of money as an adult, I'll go back and just like take classes I'm interested in. I can see myself doing that.
Yeah.
I also love going to the library.
Agreed.
Even the smell of books, I love it.
Yeah. Where's your favorite Rainer spot?
I think like the new area that they built.
The Lamorison?
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, like by the bridge? Gotcha. Cool.
But I like going to, because I'm from Milwaukee, so I like going to different Milwaukee libraries. That's,
Nice.
Yeah. I think that's a cool idea that you had, like, to just pick up different books and read them, because I think I'm such a completionist. Like, if I pick up a book, I want to, like, just read all of it, but then I would get, like, bored with the book.
Yeah.
And then...
It's okay to put the book down if you don't feel like it's giving you enough. I have done that, like, I think it was one time actually, but I was just not vibing with the book again. I was like, I can't relate. I don't know. Yeah. But it's okay. I mean, it happens.
Do you have a favorite book at all?
It's more of a sentimental value to it. Rather, I mean, the story is beautiful, but it's called The Tiger Rising. It was the first book that I learned in English that I read in English. So yeah, I would say that's probably it. Just because it meant a lot to me. So,
Is there any book that you haven't mentioned that you feel like everyone should read?
I don't know. There's a couple. I don't know why immediately I thought about Ask Alice. It's a little bit of, I mean, trigger warning. It's talks a lot about like depression and stuff like that. Suicide. So maybe not actually. It's a little bit of a sad book. I really, really did love. I guess this is like fiction. I can't think of it. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
But it was one of my favorite books as well. Let me think.
Or if you think of it later, I can just leave you
Cool. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I see the like book in my brain, and I just can't remember the name. Yeah.
Are you like more of a book person or a movie person?
On my own, I would say I'm a book person. With Devin, I'm a movie person. Yeah, I feel like he kind of switched me a little bit, but I enjoy it, so it's pretty nice.
Speaking of Devin, do you have any advice for a single girl who's trying to find a good guy?
Ooh, I would say, I feel like at the end of the day, it all kind of goes down to what you value. Because I could like sit here and say like don't settle for less and all of that, but for some people like just a person being there might be enough. But I feel like it kind of depends on like, I don't know, before you go into a relationship, have a set of values or skills and mindset that you want from a partner. I feel like that's the first step, so that you don't just like go out there and meet whoever, you know, it's like intentional more than anything. Because I would say like when I have unintentionally dated and just like dated a person, yeah, they were great like human beings, but I wasn't necessarily like specific on like I want this quality and all of that. I felt like, not that I felt like it was lacking, but it was just like there was a point where I was like, is this one for me? You know, like would I really, like the serious questions of like, would I want to have children with these persons or person? Sorry. Would I?
Multiple people.
Yeah. Would I want to have children with this person? Would I want to marry them? If my kids like married someone like them, would I be happy that they married a person like that? Like, so I don't know. Yeah, because it can be like shaped to what you want, but yeah.
I think a lot of times just women or people in general, we just set the bar too low.
Yeah,
You know?
we do. Yeah, we did. I did. Yeah, not anymore.
You know?
Yeah, but yeah, no, I can absolutely see that happening, and just like meeting a person is like, oh, he's kind, but that's it, you know, and it's like, well, yeah.
Are you excited to move?
Very much so. A little nervous, but I'm excited to travel the world.
Where are you guys moving?
We're still looking, kind of basing it off of jobs. I kind of want to move to France, I think. So
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Little Azul in Paris instead of Emily's. So yeah.
Azul.
Yep.
You need a little beret.
Yeah. I actually have one.
Yeah.
So it's gonna come out of the closet soon. So.
Alright, I think we're ending our time here, but what is one thing that you want to do to change the world? How are you going to set the world on fire, Azul?
Ooh, by spreading what I know, sharing what I know. Let me think. I will set the world on fire by spreading kindness and spreading love and sharing my story.
I love that. Thank you for joining us today. Already, if you have not liked or subscribed, do that. And I hope you have a beautiful day.